So, I got this goddamn gardener outside, man. He making a lot of noise, man, but it sounds like he stopped. He might start back up during this video, but I'm gonna power through it, man. This is another edition of Amphirmati's Revelations. Amphirmati, another motherfucker running his mouth on the internet. It's a lot of motherfuckers running their mouth on the internet, and I'm running mine too. So today we're talking about my vegan experience. This is not recent, man. This is way back. I tried being vegan on 2 separate occasions years ago, man, a long time ago. And it was a combination of good and bad, man. And this is not a promotion of the vegan diet, nor is it a criticism of a vegan diet. Whatever you do that works for you, cool. Whatever you're doing just for the time being, cool. Whatever you experimenting with, cool. I'm just talking about what I had going on. So back in I want to say like the early 2010s, man, the early 2010s, me and my younger brother, man, we both went vegan. Well, first vegetarian, and then, you know, titles, whatever the fuck, man. So, vegans don't eat meat or wear meat. Yeah, I mean, whatever, man. But so we started as vegetarians, man, and we eventually went vegan. So we was vegetarians, and I gotta say, man, you know, I was probably my early, I want to say between early and mid 20s. I was doing this. We went vegan cold turkey, man, vegetarian, and initially it was one of the greatest things I had ever experienced in my life, man. It was like my body was performing at an optimal level. It just felt natural. It felt like it's what I was supposed to be. You know what I mean? I had all this stereotypical shit people say about being vegan and some is what the experience was like, man. It had this extra nonstop energy. I remember when I would get up in the mornings, the grogginess was gone. I wouldn't be groggy. I didn't get sick for like 2 years, man. I was hanging with one of my boys. He had been sick. We was talking. I was just like, yeah, man, I don't get sick. He was like, that's not a thing. That's not real. For me at that time, it was real. Because my whole life growing up, I would get sick like once a year during that flu season when everybody else got sick. But when I was, vegan, vegetarian, I stopped getting sick, man. Like I said, I had the energy. I stopped getting bumps and blemishes on my body completely because I also wasn't eating junk food at that time. But I stopped getting bumps and blemishes on my body completely, man. When I would take a dump, man, it was the smoothest, most consistent flow I ever experienced in my life, man. And if we're talking sexually, during that time, I remember girls would give me head, and they would be like, wow, Chris, you taste really good. You taste like a vegetarian. And I know they wasn't just saying that to make me feel good, because before I had changed my diet, I had never experienced that in my life, of girls casually telling me how good I tasted, man. And yeah, shit was crazy. Obviously, these were girls who had, been around a little bit for them to know the different flavors. Because one of the girls used to do porn, and one of the girls, she just got around a lot. But they would tell me how good I tasted on that diet, man. And I just felt amazing, and it felt so good after a while. I was like, yo, screw meat, man. I don't need to eat no damn meat. Like, I was feeling so good. It was just easy for me to not eat meat. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people struggle with cutting meat out their diet. It was easy for me. I was feeling so good. The experience was so amazing. It was just easy to say no. My body was looking great. I had shed a lot of fat. Because I was one of those dudes, man. I was like, I'm not hella buff no more, but I was hella buff during that time. But I was like a chubby buff. You know what I mean? I was like a chubby buff. So I shed some of that extra weight, man. So then I just had the muscles kind of popping. So I was real lean and real smooth and good looking, man. It was an incredible experience. I was feeling so good. It was just so easy for me to not eat meat, man. What a time that was. I felt high, to say the least. I literally felt high just based off my diet, man. And it felt very natural. It felt like this is what I'm supposed to be. And it was a beautiful thing, man. I was going to all the vegan festivals, reading all the vegan books. I was in the community. I was in the lifestyle, and it was cool. It was cool until it wasn't. It was amazing. And and subsequently, I heard this from a lot of different people who had the same experience, man. But after that first 6 months or so, all that started to change. My energy started to go down. You know what I mean? I was just fatigued all the time, and my body went from looking great to a certain point. But the thing is, I kept getting smaller after that. I started disappearing. Started getting real small and skinny, man. Like, you see the little bit of chest I got on my shirt? During that time, my shirt would have just been flat because I lost my whole chest. I was working out. I didn't have no juice in my workouts. I was just going through the motions. I couldn't build no muscle. The beautiful shitting, low dropping kind of went away. Yeah, man. So all those things I was experiencing, those positive things, they started to fade, man. And before people jump in, oh, you didn't do it right. You didn't do it right. Just because you didn't do it right doesn't mean the vegan diet isn't correct. You didn't do it right. Hey, man, I'm not saying whether it's right or not. I'm just saying what happened to me. Maybe I did do it wrong. Maybe I didn't. You understand? I know there's people out here who've been vegan for decades, and they just fine and healthy. That's cool. That's their business. Right on, man. Okay? Suck my balls if you that type of person. You didn't do it right. I'm not knocking the vegan diet, all right? Okay. So I was feeling like this for a long time, man. It just wasn't what it used to be. And I tried to fix it, man. I'll try to, maybe I need more, more non-animal proteins, you know what I mean? So I would, maybe I need more rice and beans, eat more nuts, eat more of this, eat more of that. So I just try to eat more. That wasn't working. I still felt the same way. I tried to, like I said, I eventually went vegan, but I got off the vegan train, started trying to eat some eggs, and that wasn't working, man. Like, I literally felt in my body that something was missing. And I'll talk to different vegans. They would tell me all types of different things, man. This one dude was like, you been drinking your water? You've been drinking your water? And yeah, I was drinking a lot of water during that time. But I don't think water is the issue, man. You've been drinking your water, eating your salads. I was eating plenty of vegetables. I was drinking my water. And this dude tried to make it about salad and water, man. These fools would just say shit. You know what I mean? And they would just say shit, man. And like I said, they weren't helping me. So I remember one day I just broke, man. I said, fuck it, man. I can't feel this way no more. So I went across the street from where I lived at the time, to El Pollo Loco, got a chicken burrito, and instantly, magically felt like myself again. I instantly felt balanced off of one chicken burrito. I swear, like 2 bites in, it was like, oh, I'm back. Like, I felt strength coming back into my body. I felt some energy. It was amazing, man, off of a couple bites of a burrito. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, the diet, it was good until it wasn't, right? So, after that time, I had this vegan homegirl. And, we was both, into the vegan lifestyle. And I told her what I had went through and how I kind of started back incorporating meat into my diet a little bit. She got hella judgmental, bitch. She got hella judgmental. She's like, yeah, you're killing the animals. You're killing the animals. Yeah, sure. And I was like, hey, girl, I was like fading away. I was dying trying to maintain that diet. Yeah, whatever you want to tell yourself. Just judgmental. You know what I'm saying? No offer, no kind of sympathy, no understanding, no neutrality. Just negative and judgmental. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm about to sit up here, like I'm supposed to sit up here and goddamn die trying to be a vegan. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, man, you ain't heard Chris died. Oh damn, how Chris died? Trying to be a vegan, man, please. All right. So fuck people like that. But yeah, so it was good. It was good until it wasn't, man. Then I ended up trying it again. Some time went by because I went the other way and I started eating more meat than I wanted to eat. So then I was bloated. I was putting weight back on. You know what I mean? So I went vegan again. The same thing happened again. The first however many months was amazing. The mental clarity, I felt more relaxed. Cause I noticed when I would start eating meat again, I would start feeling like a little more aggressive. But the same thing happened again, man. So since then, I've just tried to maintain maintain a balance, man. Maintain a balance. I still eat vegan food. I still go to vegan restaurants if it's good food. I still I still don't eat meat most days for that matter. But I eat a little bit of meat every week now, man. I just don't go crazy with it. So that was my experience with being vegan. What else did I have here? I had a list of what I want to talk about. Oh, I think one thing that happens a lot is I think sometimes with these diets, man, I don't care what you are, vegan, keto, raw, vegan, whatever, man. I think we get attached to these labels. People get attached to these identities, man, to the point where even when they no longer serve you, you're so attached to it, you don't want to separate yourself from it, and you would just continue to suffer. You know what I mean? Because for a long time, when I was going through it, on the negative half of being a vegan, a lot of it was just me, man. Like I was attached to being a vegan, man. I had created all these thoughts in my head, and looked at all this literature about eating meat and how bad it was, and I had developed all these thoughts about a little bit even about people who did eat meat. You know what I mean? You just get attached to this identity, to this world, to this lifestyle, to these beliefs, to these opinions. You get attached to it, and you don't want to detach from it. So I did get attached to the idea of me being a vegan. Like, I'm a vegan. I don't eat that. I got attached to it, man. And I eventually had to break that goddamn attachment, dude. But I've seen that in all types of ways, man. I've heard many stories. People get attached to being a vegan and start touting that lifestyle and that diet. People get attached to raw vegan, start touting that diet and that lifestyle, and it eventually starts to harm them. You know what I mean? And they still attached to the lifestyle, so their health is still deteriorating and they still suffering. Now, until they got to break and go the other way. Wow, I have heard stories of people just dying. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not knocking the vegan diet. If you do the vegan diet and it works for you long term and it's sustainable, cool. Good for you. Maybe I did do something wrong. Maybe I wasn't doing something right. I don't know. But at that time in my life, I wasn't trying to sit there and deteriorate and die and let my health suffer while I did the research and learn how to vegan correctly. You understand? Now, who knows? Maybe down the line I may go back to it and try to do it better or not. Or I might just say, fuck that. I'm just trying to be healthy regardless of what that looks like. You understand? But yes, people do get attached. People get attached to these identities, man. These beliefs. People get attached to identities and beliefs. And as long as they serve you, fine. But they attach themselves to these concepts even when they no longer serve them. You know what I'm saying? Because they've created this whole narrative in their heads. So, I didn't even mean to get on this point, man. But don't attach yourself to identities. Don't attach yourself to groups. And don't attach yourself to beliefs to the point where they no longer serve you. Okay? Always try to go and expand and go the direction which best serves you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, man. Alright? Get up off these whole ass identities, man. Strangely, man, and it's funny because I know I have friends who have tried these carnivore diets. Do the carnivore diet where they eat nothing but meat, or animal based where they may eat meat and fruit. And I heard a lot of people have said the same thing about the straight carnivore diet. Like a lot of what I experienced on the vegan diet initially, all that awesomeness, a lot of people experienced that exact same thing on the carnivore diet. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. Mind y'all, this is not one of those scientific pages, so I can't break down to y'all the biology and the scientifics of all of this, okay? I'm just speaking to y'all about my experience and things I've heard from other people. But it's very interesting to me. Heard people have these carnivore diets. And I don't know if they keep these forever. I never check back in with people, or if it's like vegan, where initially it's great, but it's not, long term and sustainable a lot of the time. I don't know, but I've heard some good things about it initially, at least. But yeah, so that was my experience with veganism, man. I think it's a great cleansing diet. I think that's why I was feeling so good, because I had never done any type of my whole life up to that point. You grow up, you just eating. You don't know about none of this stuff, man. So at that point in my life, I ain't never done no detox. I ain't never done no cleanse. I ain't never done none of that. I wasn't necessarily a terrible eater or nothing like that, but I had never done any of these things. I had never detoxed. I had never cleansed, nothing. So I think those initial amazing feelings I was just cleansing, man. I was just cleansing, and my body was just, eliminating a lot of things. But after that process was essentially done, I just wasn't, having enough of what I needed in my body. Once again, to the bitch made vegans, I'm not saying I did it. Maybe I did it wrong. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the diet. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that was my experience, and that's what happened. You understand? Biatch. This has been Amphramati with Amphramati's Revelations. Another motherfucker running his mouth on the internet. Don't attach yourself to identities, baby. Don't attach yourself to beliefs, baby. Take what you need for as long as you need it and keep it moving. You feel me? All right.